Did you have to say it in such a creepy voice?
Oh, hello.
I said, did you have to say that in such a creepy voice? So who did he play in Buffy, sorry?
He played the boyfriend in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
Angel?
No, Angel's not in the movie.
No, who cares then? Yeah.
He was in fucking The Fifth Element. Have you seen The Fifth Element?
Yeah, man, Luke Besson's best movie.
That's where Luke Perry is in.
Who's he in The Fifth Element then?
He's the guy who's not Bruce Willis.
Chris Tucker?
He's not Chris Anyway, he's like known to be a pretty boy from like that one teenage rom-com series, and I just thought it was funny.
And that's amazing casting because, yeah, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. I thought it was going to make you go like, what? But you know,
that is outside of my. Yeah.
Instead, we just went on a very weird tangent.
Yes, indeed. And what else is this podcast for, if not for going on very weird tangents? Fine by me. Did you have to say it in such a creepy voice?
I didn't know you could hear me.
Yeah, I hear everything. Everything.
Shit.
Everyone. Shit, oh man, I need to watch that movie again. God.
Leon the Professional.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god, such an excellent film.
Haven't seen it in years. I bought the VHS off my mate for £3.
Same director as fucking Fifth Element.
Yes, I take it back. Luke Besson's best film is Leon. I don't know, actually from a directorial standpoint, Fifth Element is probably better than Leon.
It's a different kind of film, so very, very hard to compare the two.
In terms of directing techniques, The Fifth Element is better, I think. But Leon's clearly a better film than For a start, it doesn't have Chris Tucker ruining. And I love Chris Tucker, but Ruby Rod, man. Don't get me wrong, I loved Ruby Rod as a kid, but the older you get, the more that grates.
Yeah, it's his shtick. And this is the Chris Tucker shtick.
You know who he is in that
really
film?
Quickly.
You know who Ruby Rod is? He's Jar Jar Binks.
Oh god. But The Fifth Element, wow, that's some Class A directing in that. I mean, the New York City skyline is already so much better than nearly any movie that came after that in a similar setting. Imagine like the Star Wars prequels. Like, how the fuck fake that city looked. Was that Alderaan they were on?
Coruscant?
Probably.
Coruscant
sounds good. Yeah.
I'm not big on Star Wars.
No, but imagine that. That looks so artificial, and the Fifth Element just looks like a city, except like 100 years in the future.
Yeah, I don't know how he did that, really. Because it must have been all CGI.
Movie magic.
And it hasn't aged. Because that's really a hallmark of the early 2000s, late 90s, is look at all this new CGI technology we have. And in 5 years' time, it's going to look like shit.
Like Species.
Yeah, and Species was the fucking shit at the time, but now it's just like...
God, that weird whippy tongue. I never saw Species until, like, it had already been, like, mid to late 2000s. So by that time, I was like, no.
Yeah, I saw Species in the mid to late 2000s, but that's bang in the middle of my adolescence. And the main reason I watched it is because I thought I'd be able to do a crafty wank.
It's got Alfred Molina in it.
Yeah, Dr. Octopus.
And Whiplash.
Mickey Rourke?
No, not
J.K. Simmons?
Dudley Do-Right.
Fucking Dudley Do-Right?
You know, Snidely Whiplash.
Oh! Right.
In the Dudley Do-Right film with Brendan Fraser, he's Snidely Whiplash.
The live-action Dudley Do-Right movie.
It's so weird a film, but my god, if it's not funny, then I'll eat my hat because it made me laugh all across the board.
I'd be honest, I've not seen it. This sounds like it's big like guilty pleasure territory.
It is probably a big guilty pleasure territory, but I can't hate a movie that makes the bad guy question how evil he's being because he's pretending to be good, because the good guy of the film is wearing black and he's just wearing seriously dark blue, which is like one hue lighter, and he gets mad at his personal attendant for getting him the wrong wardrobe.
The thing is, right, that's the kind of thing that in the Dudley Do-Right movie, which was made probably, circa 2001 or something, I bet everyone was like, ugh, is this what humour is now? If they'd put that in a Pixar film and the main villain had said it, everyone would have fucking shat and gone, this is hilarious. Oh, how whimsical and funny.
But honestly, that coat by coat comparison, it cracks me up. It's just, it does it for me. It ticks all the right boxes.
No, that's good. That is good. Big guilty pleasure comedy for me. I just felt I should offer one up to try and get you off the hook here. And it's from a similar era as well. Is the Sergeant Bilko movie starring Steve Martin?
I've never watched that.
Yeah, I mean, don't, because I would never go as far as to recommend it. I would never go as far as to recommend it, especially if you have any kind of appreciation for the Sergeant Bilko TV series starring Phil Silver. Because that it is really, I can see why people hated it so much, because it is very much taking this very old, very beloved comedy series and trying to update it and ripping everything that was beloved out of it and just replacing it with just bullshit, really. But
like Get Smart.
Very much like Get Smart. But Steve Martin's very funny in it, I think. And it's rare, because we're talking post-2000s Steve Martin here. And, you know, after Bowfinger, it's slim pickings for anything remotely funny with Steve Martin within 12 miles of it.
I fondly remember Bowfinger. I was about to say, it might be my memory, but I remember it being good. Especially seeing as Eddie Murphy's double role in it is good as well.
Yeah.
And it's also one of the last times Eddie Murphy was good.
I was about to say, that probably marks, like, I think a landmark film in that you can point to it and go, see these two comedy giants? See these two absolute legends of the game? It's all downhill from here, folks. Like, you can really stick a pin in that movie and be like, man, Eddie Murphy's going to have one or two little moments after this, but and Steve Martin, the less said about that, the better.
Apparently, allegedly, supposedly, and I love saying those words in that order, the Pink Panther movie is not as bad as the rest would have you believe. But it's like, I don't even want to start on it to see how good it might be.
I have seen it, you know, and I don't think it's, like, objectionably bad, but like, I think it's perfectly adequate. But that's the thing, is that you've taken something that was truly remarkable and you've made it A, different, and then B, just kind of okay. Like maybe it is just the love that I've got for the original attached to it, but I seem to recall the Steve Martin one, I would kind of put it on a par with, say, Johnny English, which is hardly a ringing endorsement, you know.
Johnny English has its moments.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay. It's all right, but you know, it's not the fucking Pink Panther.
No, it's not the Pink Panther.
No, I mean, you know, you're taking arguably the greatest comedy performer of all time and taking his best loved work and trying to remake it. Like, you're not gonna, you know.
Yeah.
It's like if they try to remake Caddyshack now or something, and they cast Will Ferrell in the Bill Murray role. You know, I love Will Ferrell, but he's not fucking Bill Murray. Like, same thing. Love Steve Martin, but he ain't Peter Sellers.
Tell you what, for updating an old series into a movie that worked, at least for me, The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Do you know, I've never seen even the show The Man from U.N.C.L.E., let alone
I've never seen The Man from U.N.C.L.E., the show, either, but the movie on its own works great. I mean, I forgot who's playing the Russian in it, because I have a shit memory for names, but Henry Cavill's in it.
Oh, Superman.
Yeah, well, yeah, but okay.
One of the Supermen.
One of the Supermen. Let's put it like that. Guy Ritchie directed it. That was the weirdest thing.
Guy Ritchie directed a Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie.
Yeah, and it's not like what you would expect from Guy Ritchie. Arnie Hammer plays a Russian.
Oh, I like Arnie Hammer a lot.
Hugh Grant is like the head of like a secret spy organization, obviously meant to parody James Bond movies.
Okay, this sounds good. Wait, Guy Ritchie and Hugh Grant.
Yeah?
I need to watch this film. Because that's a dynamic that I can't quite... How does that look? Like, that's interesting.
And I don't know the premise of the original series, but the movie itself, it works great. And I don't know how much of blasphemy it is to say that. So I hope somebody on the internet gets really pissed off about this.
Probably not. First of all, I don't think The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is... I don't think it's especially, like, seen as this untouchable sort of thing. But also...
I love pissing off the Man from U.N.C.L.E. fandom.
But I was gonna say, like, also, probably people that watch The Man from U.N.C.L.E., they're probably dead. And if they're not dead, they're definitely not on the internet. They're not on Twitter.com, that's for sure. A more timely IP that was made into a recent film, which I did really enjoy, and I have seen the old TV show, and I do love, and I thought the film really worked, was The A-Team.
Never saw it.
The movie.
I meant to, but I've never seen it.
I really like it. I really, really liked it. It was different from the TV show, but
of course,
but not so different that it felt like a big departure. And you know, obviously, you're recasting iconic roles there. The biggest one being Quentin Rampage Jackson, who's not an actor, taking over from Mr. T, but he does a good. I mean, he plays very much kind of.
Mind you, Mr. T wasn't really an actor. He was a wrestler.
Yeah, well, he wasn't even a wrestler. He wasn't even a wrestler.
He was Junkyard Dog.
No, he was not.
Wasn't he?
No! Mr. T was not the Junkyard Dog.
I thought he was the Junkyard Dog.
No, that's amazing. That is amazing. Mr. T was in the main event of WrestleMania 1, though.
I am probably very racist in that case.
It's okay, so was Roddy Piper in the build-up to WrestleMania 1.
Because I'm basing this knowledge on, like, the old Hulk Hogan cartoon.
Oh, the Rock and Wrestling cartoon.
And he looks dead like fucking Mr. T.
To be fair,
I always figured that was Mr. T.
I would hazard a guess that was deliberate on the part of the cartoon makers, because WWF around that time were very keen to cash in on the notoriety of Hulk Hogan being in Rocky 3. Hence why Mr. T was at WrestleMania 1 and 2, because he was like the biggest star on TV. They knew that if they could associate themselves with him, it would make them more popular. So when they made the cartoon, they probably went, make the fucking black guy as much like Mr. T as you can without making it obvious.
Look, in that case, I do apologise for anything I've ever said in my life ever.
No, it's like...
But then again, okay, I'm going to tread very thin ice here. Mr. T is not really that much of an actor.
No, of course he's not. He's just Mr. T. Like, he just plays himself. He's not an actor at all, really. Which apparently pissed off George Peppard no end on the making of the A-Team.
Oh, that's great.
Fucking, what's his name who played Face Man? What's his name, the fucking actor?
I should know this because I watched him in the theatre once.
Not Templeton Peck, that's his name in the show. Myself. Benedict thingy, fucking something Benedict Arnold. Something Benedict in it. It's Dirk Benedict. There we go.
I didn't see Dirk Benedict in the theatre. I saw Templeton Peck in the theatre.
Okay. Dirk Benedict. I saw an interview with him once, and he said that on set, George Peppard wouldn't talk to Mr. T directly. He would do, like, even if there was like only the three of them in the room, he would go to Dirk Benedict. Will you tell Mr. T such and such? And then he would have to turn to T and be like, "Oh,
Bradley Cooper was Face."
Yeah, Bradley Cooper was Face, and the best casting in the whole thing, fucking Sharlto Copley was Murdoch, and he was amazing. Because Sharlto Copley is amazing. But yeah, George Peppard wouldn't talk to T, and he would do it like a child when they fall out with you. Oh, tell them that I said this, and he would have to turn to Mr. T and say that to him, and Mr. T found it hilarious apparently, and would be like, okay, tell Mr. Peppard that I say that. He would play along, but he found it fucking hysterical that this old white guy was so pissed off, because apparently George Peppard, I only know him from the A-Team. but apparently he was a massive, massive TV star in the US.
Yeah, he was basically the big name attached to it.
And he thought it was going to be like, oh, well, I'm the star, and I'm going to make this guy a star. And then he rocked up, and the producers and writers made it very clear very quickly to him that the TV show had been made specifically for Mr. T. And apparently it pissed him off no end. He was really, really upset about it and was very petty. And like T just found it hilarious that this old white dude was like like angry that Mr. T had eaten his lunch.
Still, if the TV show was intended to revolve around Mr. T, he's still at fucking a fight with Murdoch. Like, not literally in the show, but like in a meta sense. Like,
Murdoch's my fave, without a doubt. Like, he is
Murdoch
my
is like the attention grabber, despite the fact that
totally.
Mr. T is the giant who throws people around.
Fucking Dwight Schultz, the fucking shocker himself. Like, he's amazing in the A-Team. There is an episode of the A-Team where, for reasons I can't remember right now, they end up trying to use a hearse as a getaway car. And during the climactic car chase / shootout, the top of the hearse opens up, and Murdoch, in a coffin, like, raises up out of the back of it, brandishing a machine gun. And it is the funniest...
Like fucking Dracula?
Yeah, but like mad Dracula with a machine gun. And it is the funniest thing that's ever been on television, I think. It's amazing. Absolutely incredible. Like, I've been trying to explain this to the missus recently, that because the A-Team is very much dumb action from the 80s.
Yeah.
I think that if you watch it nowadays with modern eyes and don't expect it to be particularly good, I think it can be the most entertaining program. Like, because that is just joyous. I don't care if you hate any kind of action premise. Someone coming up out of the back of a hearse in a coffin with a machine gun is funny. Like that, there is no like. You've got to watch the A-Team and go into it knowing it's not it's not taking itself seriously. It knows
you have to approach it the same way you would approach like one of the Rocky sequels. Like
yeah, exactly. And they are by far the most fun. By far. Like, and again, I had this with the missus because we watched them all recently. She'd never seen any of them, and I was like, look, 1 and 2 are the best films, but 3 and 4 are hands down the best ones because they're funny as hell and they're amazing. And if you come in with that like reckless abandon, like this is going to be a fun romp, the A-Team is. There's an episode of the A-Team where they team up with some parish priest, some black fucking priest, and he's all like he kung fu. He does a spinning back fist on one of a priest, a big burly black priest, doing a spinning back fist on a baddie. That's TV gold. Where else are you going to get that? And there's an episode of the A-Team where Hulk Hogan is in it. And all, he
How
gets
do you
all
know so many episodes of the A-Team?
I love it. I have got 18 episodes on DVD.
Jesus Christ.
Massive fan of the A-Team.
I love you, but what?
It's great. The A-Team's great. And I'm here to say that the film is dead good because they keep that spirit. They keep the spirit of like, okay, so we're not going to do it. It's not going to be a feature-length version of what you liked in the 80s, but we're keeping the spirit of this is a big, dumb action piece, and it's going to be...
Obviously, you have to modernise it a bit. Unless you're doing a period piece, then, yeah.
Yeah. And there's like... It's going to be more funny than it is action, and it really, really is funny. Like, I think the hilarious thing is where they fucking... Spoilers, but there's a bit towards the end where they get dropped out of an airplane in a tank,
that's in the
right?
trailers.
And then they fly the tank. And it's genius. It's
That's in the trailers.
I don't remember. It's so many years ago, but
yes.
Yeah, it was so funny. Like, and it did seem a bit like, well, this would never happen in the show. But it's like, well, if they had the budget, it probably would have.
It would have happened in the show if it happened in the 2000s, and they had money for it.
The weird thing about the show is the budget wasn't that big. All the explosions and stuff were bought second hand from like Bond movies and things like that. Like
the fuck, and then they just wrote an episode
just fucking spliced
that.
it in. So if ever there's like a helicopter crash or like a car explosion or something like that in the A-Team, it was in a Hollywood movie before, and they just bought the footage and spliced it in and used it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? There you go. See, fucking A-Team, like fucking super nerd over here, like.
But what about the one episode with the cabbage tank?
The cabbage tank. Okay, this is. Wait, is this real?
This is real.
Fuck off.
This is the one thing I remember about the
Okay, I don't remember
is that they had an episode where they built a tank in a barn and it shot cauliflowers. Sorry, not cabbages. Cauliflowers.
Okay, don't remember that.
It might be cabbages. I very definitely think it's cauliflowers.
Superb.
So they shoot cauliflowers because they have no other ammo. That's the montage of the episode, and that's the climax.
How can anyone dislike this show? Like, because my mum hates the 18, for example. She's it's the stupidest thing ever. Like, well, yeah, it is, but how do you dislike a TV show where their plan to beat the bad guys is to build a tank that shoots cauliflowers out of it? That's the most wonderful thing ever.
It just feels so genuine. It's like, how can you hate that?
I know, we need more shit like that. That's the problem with the world today. There's not enough shit like that on TV. Everything's got to be serious all the time. Point scoring. Fucking Trump's in the White House.
Mind you, nice segue. I've been watching The Sopranos recently for the first time ever. So I'm going in this completely blind, and it's great. It's fantastic. I got so sick and tired of people telling me how good the show was and making references. Shout out to you, Jeremy. That I was like, okay, I'm fine. I'll watch it.
Okay.
Shut up.
So, how far in are you?
I'm in season 4.
Oh, right, I mean, you're way ahead of me. 4. You're way ahead of me. I had this same thing that you've had. Like, clearly, people telling you, like, it's literally the best TV show ever made. I think I must have got a bit of this from Jeremy as well. But particularly from my favourite podcaster, Kevin Mann. And in the Goodfellas episode, they go on and on about how good The Sopranos is. And in the episode, he's like, turn this podcast off right now and go watch The Sopranos because it is the best TV show ever made. And I was like, is it? I was like, okay, the best TV show ever made, all right. And me and the missus started watching it, same as you, went in cold. Like, I was going in off the back of the hype, but I didn't know what it was about, really. So I've only seen I've seen like 1.5 seasons. And for some reason we fell off it and we've not gone back to it since. And we keep meaning to. But we love it, man.
It's really good, but what it's lacking, in my opinion, is something that makes you want to immediately watch the next episode.
See, this is the thing.
Okay, TV nowadays is basically geared towards making you want to binge watch it. So maybe I've just gotten used to that. Maybe I've just been numbed to normal television from like 10 years ago. But this is just like one episode will be very good and the next episode will be very good as well. And one will be stellar and then one will be okay. But I'm never on the pressure, having the forced feeling I have to continue watching it now. But today I watched like one episode and yesterday I watched 5. And today and yesterday are about interchangeable. It's not like Netflix where everything ends on this click next now, or Doctor Who where you get a trailer for the next episode and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they're gonna blow up the fucking moon. This is just TV. And it's good TV, but it's not like grabbing me by the balls. Okay, that was my bit. Sorry.
So are you saying that as a negative? Like
it's
not holding your attention because it's not giving you these big hooks, these big moments.
Yeah.
Now, I had the exact opposite experience with The Sopranos because when I started watching it, again like you for the first time, and it was recently, I started going on and on at people in my life about how good it was, right? And they were like, oh, what's it about? And I was like, mob dude, I don't know really. I don't know what the plot is. All I can tell you is the script is amazing, the acting is amazing, and the directing is amazing. Like, it's just the best made, best written TV show I think I've ever seen. And it has big moments here and there, but I mean, once, twice a season? And I find it so rewarding that it really is just a character piece, really. And there's these big threads. Each season has got big threads, big arcs, but it doesn't feel the need to give you this every episode. The episode has to end with, and you won't believe what happens next. But like, it doesn't give you a big cliffhanger every week. And I appreciate that. I appreciate a TV show that is happy to go, this is one season and the story is going to last the whole season and it's just going to be consistently good throughout and it's going to tell a coherent narrative all the way throughout. It doesn't feel the need to live off these big cliffhanger moments because I have real problems with sort of, as you said, like I'm going to clumsily call it like the Netflix generation of TV shows. Yeah. Where they feel like they're built. They don't feel like, I know they are. They are deliberately designed to be watched in blocks. Like Orange is the New Black. When they make that TV show, they deliberately make it. It's geared towards being binged watched. You are supposed to watch that whole series in a weekend. Whereas The Sopranos, obviously, it was a different time, and it was week to week. You're not meant to have that immediate impact, and I like it a lot more and I really struggle. But maybe this is just a personal thing because I really, really struggle to binge watch stuff. Like when I watch Breaking Bad, for example, I used to watch like 2 or 3 episodes, and sometimes I'd be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" I would get that thing where I need to watch the next one. I need to watch the next one, and sometimes that one would be good. Sometimes it would leave me cold, and it's a bit of a roller coaster. But I just struggle to watch things in bulk, like Sopranos episodes as well. They're like an hour long. And if you watched 4 of those in one night, that's 4 hours. You could watch like Lord of the Rings.
I've had lots of free time.
So did I when I started watching it, but it's a fucking long time to commit to watching something. And I prefer it. I prefer to go. I can watch 1, maybe 2 episodes of this, and I can come back to it the next day, not feel like I've lost out, but. All that is like the thing that gets me is that it is just so good, and I think it's actually testament to it that it is so good without having to rely on these big cliffhangers, these big moments. Because the main problem I had with Breaking Bad, especially, was you could have a very mediocre, very forgettable episode that then in the last 10 minutes would be fucking amazing, and you'd be like, well, now I need to see the next episode, But really, and you'd come away from it thinking it was a great episode. But on balance, it's only like the last 10 minutes of the episode that's actually dead good. Whereas The Sopranos, every episode, I think, start to finish, is just superb. And I think it's actually better for that it can stand on its own and not have to rely on cliffhangers and big gimmicks and big moments. It doesn't live on the moments. You know what I mean?
I'm going to be honest here. I think you've convinced me in this regard.
Yes.
No, I'll gladly admit when I'm wrong, and I'll freely admit when I'm wrong.
But I mean, no, it's not a question of being wrong. It's like what you've said is you've watched modern day TV shows for so long. You've been conditioned to have that I want the big hit. Because one of my favourite shows of all time, and I know it's shit, is Lost. And Lost is shit, but each week it did, regardless of how good the episode was, give you this big thing at the end. Like this big, oh but look, here's this big weird twist. Tune in next week.
That's the weirdest thing about Lost. It made me actually quit watching it because of the season 2 finale.
Well, yeah, no.
I was like, okay, hang on. This is going to be the thing from now on, isn't it? Every time we find out something about the fucking story, we're going to get 2 more bigger questions in return.
Yes, well, I'm nodding along furiously.
I don't even need this anymore.
I'm nodding along furiously.
And I can watch it to people on the internet. So, fuck off, Lost. So I quit watching Lost.
Yeah, I'm nodding along
furiously.
Apparently
I didn't miss out on anything.
No, not really. But I mean, that's an indictment of Lost in that if a show comes to just entirely rely on those big moments, then it's a real failing. But that's what I'm saying is that The Sopranos doesn't have it. Doesn't
mind you
rely on those at all.
Yeah, 2 of my favourite episodes of The Sopranos was the season 2 finale, which was mostly about Tony having food poisoning.
Brilliant.
And then in the end, an execution.
Ooh.
And the season 3, where Paulie Walnuts and Christopher get lost in the woods.
This sounds amazing.
And this is amazing.
Sounds amazing.
They get lost in the woods and they hide out in a van. And that's basically the premise of the episode, where they're freezing half to death and they're just bitching at each other.
See, this is why The Sopranos is so good. You've given me a plot there what involves 2 supporting characters, and it sounds quite comical on the surface, and I know that must be great, because those characters are fucking great.
It is, because it's a great episode, because nothing else really happens. Nobody dies, nobody... Oh, sorry, that was a spoiler, wasn't it? I don't think anybody dies.
Yeah, you know.
I don't remember anybody dying. It's weird how I say that's a spoiler for a fucking Sopranos episode.
Well, this is the thing, right?
Nobody dies.
This is the thing, right? Is that when I first got into it, maybe you had this as well. I've been eager to talk to somebody in a similar position who only recently got into it and was really unfamiliar with it, right? When I first got into it, I thought it was going to be shooty, kill every week. There's going to be blood and guts everywhere, and it's going to be like super serious, dead gritty. 99% of the time, Sopranos is actually really light-hearted and really hilarious, and it's...
Oh, that's why we started on about this. Hello, 3 conversations ago. Sopranos is an excellent way of combining serious with slapstick. Like, one of my favourite moments in the series is when Tony's mum drops off one of her friends and she doesn't shift into reverse with her car. And it's like one of the first episodes of season 1, and she fucking hits her friend straight with her big fucking mobile and breaks her fucking hip. And it's like, what the hell? Why am I laughing so hard at this?
But I was really surprised at how funny it is. I didn't think it was going to be a funny show. I thought it was going to be, you know, really serious, really gritty. And, you know, like all dramas now have the odd moment of levity. I always get those two confused. The odd moment of levity. But I didn't think it was going to be like laugh out loud funny, like, throughout consistently. It's just joke after joke, really. Like, me, my girlfriend especially, her favourite moment of the whole thing that we've seen is, and spoilers here for anyone who hasn't seen it, but, you know, it is 30 years old. No, 20 years old. The episode where his mum, Olivia, fakes having a stroke to get away from him. And he turns up at the hospital.
Series 1 finale, yeah.
Yeah. He turns up at the hospital, and the bit where he thinks it's legit, he does this little smile to camera, and it's the funniest thing. Like, when they're wheeling her out of the room with a gas mask on, he looks at the camera and does this wicked little smile. It is the funniest thing. Like, it absolutely broke us apart. And to this day, she still says that's her favourite bit. Our other favourite bit, weirdly, is like a throwaway line that he says to Anthony Jr. about going to play in the traffic. Because it's just the way he delivers the line. It's fucking hysterical.
Yes.
And, like, yes. I wasn't... When I came into The Sopranos, I was not prepared for that. I didn't expect it to be that kind of show at all. And that's my favourite thing about it, is, like, the script just pops. It's the
mutual
best.
Friend Jeremy says this was considered originally, when conceived, to be like The Simpsons, real life, but then with a mob family. Obviously, the original concept deviated slightly from what it eventually became.
Okay,
but
I can sort of see it now.
I can still see traces here and
So
there.
you're casting, like, classic American sitcom, like Angry Dad, 2.4 children, and then it's the mob, though. Okay, that it actually makes a lot more sense now that you've framed it in that like, now imagining Fred Flintstone, Homer Simpson, Tony Soprano. Now it makes perfect sense. He's just
basically
his classic sitcom patriarch.
Soprano kills people for a living.
He's classic sitcom patriarch. He just happens to be a mob boss. Now it makes so much sense. But yeah, I just didn't expect it to be so well, you know, funny. But I love it. It's a great TV show. I mean, I'm only a series and a half in, but I can see why people say it's the best ever made. It possibly is.
I'm not going to spoil anything for you, because it's very little spoil. Nearly everybody dies because it's like The Walking Dead, but there's always like a core cast, so you always get like, I hope my favourite one doesn't die. Or Game of Thrones does the same thing. I hate those kind of shows, really, but you know, at least it gives you investment.
The ones that live off kind of anyone can die. Except for Daryl and Rick, because, you know, we want to keep we want people to keep watching the fucking show. God,
mind you, I quit watching that after season 5.
Season 3 for me.
Season
tapped right out.
6, 1 and 2 were like so dull, and people were defending the episodes to me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to bother anymore. But then, I got a lot of free time recently. And I binge watched season 6 in like a week, I think. And then Jeffrey Dean Morgan shows up. You know Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
The comedian.
The
it
comedian.
nearly got me back into it when I found out he was in it, and then he's got his bat and everything. It looks really cool. I almost went back to it. I was like, no, because I know they're doing the same thing again. They've run out of ideas for plot, and they're papering over the cracks with good characters. Oh, sorry, not good, cool characters.
Stay away, because I've got fucking sucked back in, and I don't even know if I want to watch season 7 now, because Jeffrey Dean Morgan, oh my god, so good. He's so much fun. Good in everything.
Very underrated actor. And actually, he's one of the things that, like, the last year or so, people knowing him now, I feel really pleased about it, because he's so underrated. Have you seen, I'm sure you've discussed it on the podcast before, actually, but The Losers?
Yes, because we spoke about this before.
Yeah, because we mentioned
I wanted to bring up The Losers when you were talking about the 18. I feel like they both came out about the same time.
Yeah, I think 18 was a couple of years after, but yes. But yeah, very much the same vibe,
but
very much
I think The Losers got, like, a little bit more attention, despite the fact that the 18 was more well known.
Big blockbuster, yeah.
But The Losers, oh my god, I love that
underrated
film.
Movie.
I've only seen it.
Very underrated.
I've only seen it twice, but it's so good.
Chris Evans is hilarious in that film. That movie convinced me that he couldn't play Captain America.
Idris Elba, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Chris Evans, and Zoe Gamora.
Oh shit! Yeah, yes. Saldana, Zoe Saldana.
That's it.
And they're all in comic book films now.
The Losers is a comic book as well.
Oh, is it? Oh shit! There's my ignorance exposed.
Boom! Mind blown. Never mind. But I love The Losers for one thing, and one thing the most, because something I hate about Hollywood is making women martial artists and then relying so much on wiring, like wire kicks and jumping around like across the walls, something like 6 feet in the air.
I'm looking at you, Black Widow.
It works if you're fucking like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because the entire film is like that. But if only one character does it, like Die Hard 4.0.
I haven't seen it. I stayed well away from those sequels, let me tell you.
Good. 4.0 is okay, but 5 is just horrible. But you get these actresses, and they're superb martial artists. They can outfight anybody, and they get raised high on wires and do wall kicks and spinning around. And it's just so obviously fake. And I know it's fiction.
Is this where we give props to Stallone, then?
Because
in The Expendables, when he cast Ronda Rousey, it was just like, here's a woman who's hard as fuck, and here's just the woman kicking fuck out of a man. Here we go.
Because that's the same thing that goes on in The Losers. When Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Zoe are having a fight, it's just hard.
Oh, I've only just remembered the end of the... Yeah, I know what you mean. He's the... Yeah, I remember now. I've only just remembered.
They fight each other, and it's in that hotel room, and it's just hard, and they're both just taking punches and breaking furniture.
To be fair, it's quite ahead of its time in that way, The Losers. Never thought you'd say about The Losers.
Exactly.
But, like, because, like, with The Expendables, it's off the back of Ronda Rousey being like, she's breaking down these walls as, like, women can be hard as fuck. But The Losers is, what, like 2007-ish? Like...
I think so.
There was no movies where women were just, like, fist-fighting men in 2007.
And that's what I want. If I want an action movie where a woman is hard, I don't want her to be pulled in every direction. I want her to be just as fucking hard as a man, and I can fucking believe it if she does it. China, the wrestler, she could have done it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so I haven't seen it, but does Wonder Woman have this then, or is
Wonder Woman?
Is Gal Gadot presented as like she's just a big Amazonian, she'll fuck you up, or is it different again?
She will fuck you up, but most people she fights have machine guns and rifles.
Oh, so it's like long range, like picking them off, like. Okay.
So she does fight them with evasive maneuvers.
So there's no like big slugfest.
But in the end,
okay,
when she fights the big bad guy, the bad guy she fights before the big bad guy, she actually
the dragon, as TV tropes would.
The dragon. She totals him. Absolutely, and it's she has no remorse. Like, it's ruthless.
That's the Israeli for you.
She was actually military.
Yeah, she was in the army, right? Yeah.
because they have what do you call it in English? The draft. That's
right, like conscription.
Yeah, in English, in Israel, you have to attend the military.
National service.
Yeah, whatever gender you are, which is maybe good on one hand, but
I mean, to be honest,
slightly jingoistic on the other.
Yeah, but in Israel, probably necessary.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They are
we live in fucking decadent Europe. We can pick and choose when we go to war.
I was about to say we are slightly, privileged to be able to talk about this in this regard.
It's funny as well. The closer I get to 40, the more I'm in favour of conscription. The fatter and older I get, I'm like, they should put these kids in the army. More and more every year, and every fucking waist size that I go up.
Yeah, that's really easy for me to say because I would never myself.
I ain't gonna make the grade now, kid. It's up to you. Well, we got away from that fucking topic. Jesus.
I was about to make some remark about some president somewhere, but then
I knew red was. Fuck off. I'm swearing. I did that bit out. That was the pettiest thing I've ever said.